It's kind of funny because Across the Universe began in a very uncosmic place. John was lying awake at Kenwood after an argument with Cynthia. According to his later recollection, the opening image came from the feeling of her words going on in his head after she had fallen asleep.
Like endless rain into a paper cup.
But instead of turning that irritation into a nasty little domestic song, he reshaped it into something strangely calm. The language spilled out and his thoughts drifted in a refrain that feels like the singer is trying to float above ordinary life rather than fight it. The spiritual part came from the Beatles' growing interest in transcendental meditation in late 1967 and early 1968. The phrase Jai Guru Deva Om refers to Guru Dev, the teacher of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and Lennon used it as a kind of meditative anchor between the verses and the repeated "nothing's gonna change my world" idea. So the song is both personal and mystical at the same time. And it starts with a real marital annoyance, but it turns into Lennon trying to make himself untouchable, at least emotionally, by sending the words somewhere bigger than the room he was stuck in. The Beatles recorded the basic track at EMI on February 4th, 1968, during the period between Magical Mystery Tour and their trip to India. They tried different ways to dress it up, including female backing vocals by teenage fans Lizzie Bravo and Gayleen Pease, who were invited in from outside the studio. And that might be one of the strangest details in all of the Beatles' little moments. Two ordinary fans ended up singing on one of Lennon's most spiritual songs, because the band wanted high female voices and the right people just happened to be right nearby. And this song has one of the messiest release histories in the whole Beatles catalog. It was first intended for a Yellow Submarine EP that never came out, then appeared in 1969 on the World Wildlife Fund charity album called No One's Gonna Change Our World, with bird sounds added to fit the nature conservation theme. And then later, when the Let It Be album was being assembled, Phil Spector returned to the 1968 recording and added orchestra and choir, creating the more famous 1970 version. That's why Across the Universe sounds like a Let It Be song, but does not really come from the Get Back sessions in the same way as most of the rest of the album. The funny thing is that John loved the song, but was never fully satisfied with the Beatles' recording of it, which does make sense. The song's delicate and beautiful and almost weightless, and every added effect risks pinning it to the floor.